Welcome back to our YouTube channel GossipWire. Before we start, ask yourself, how much is a fake baby worth? Tonight I'll show you the belly band, the burner, and the bank wires. A Midtown housekeeper pressed send and Harlem hasn't slept since. Sponsors ran, NDAs cracked. And the receipts. They're dripping right now. Blink once and you'll miss the move that flips this whole chessboard. Please double check. Secret cash is hidden behind low-cost hotel doors. This story was too scandalous for cable. So we're doing it here. From hotel bins to encrypted USBs, every step was paid for in quiet cash. Stay locked by the time we hit the halfway mark. You'll never trust a baby bump again. Baby, checkmate. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Really? Go. How many sponsorships, reunions, and false charity checks did these two profit while the world applauded for a pregnancy that never happened? Worst of all, receipts are dripping out one by one. And trust me, by the time we're finished today, you will never look at a baby bump in the same way. Please buckle up. This exposure may cause the internet to crash twice before lunch. So, let's peel back the filthy layers of the circus. Because believe me, the so-called power couple Harlem did not become a mess overnight. Oh no, this nasty masterpiece has been years currently being developed. Tears hidden beneath reality. Staged engagement rings and Instagram captions that might fool even a ghost. First, let's go back to the golden era. When Chrissy Lampkin crowned herself the first lady of Harlem and Cam'ron strutted around like a pink for dawn data. At that moment, Jim Jones, bless his devoted fool heart, believed he owned Harlem's final unbreakable brotherhood. But beneath all that dipset nostalgia, snake pits, hush money, and a false baby tummy. Even Mona Scott Young questioned whether this was too scandalous for cable television. People claim the rot began in 2017. VH1's reunion shows began to draw stale ratings. Chrissy knew her Creon Q skills were quickly losing their worth. Cam knew his solo buzz had stuck in 2005. Nostalgia and amateurish tour flyers. So what's two hustlers with dusty limelight to do? Easy. Make a new mess. Enter the fictitious baby scheme. Insiders. And by insiders, I mean Chrissy's old nail tech, who couldn't keep her tongue shut. Cam swears the first pregnant whisper reached his ears during a shady brunch at Harlem Tavern. Chrissy leaned over her mimosa, tapped Cam's frozen-out watch, and screamed, "What if the world believes I'm pregnant?" Cam didn't flinch. He pulled out his second phone and whispered, "Not the public one, the burner. If you sell it right, we all eat good." Since that breakfast, baby frauds have their "our baby" plans. Chrissy refollowed former brand sponsors on Instagram. Cam made friends with reality program producers who swore they'd never deal with him again. The 2011 backstage meltdown. Jim, poor clueless Jim, continued to believe every "I love you, daddy" text. At 2 a.m., she crooned, while surreptitiously coordinating hush payments for shady ultrasounds invoices. Now fast forward to spring 2022. A Chrissy selfies began to show odd bumps. Fan pages debated. She glows. While Harlem's barbershops muttered, she sling. But Cam milked every drop of cloud until his belly resembled a pillow. He dropped a teaser rather than hinting about giving the crew fresh life. I teased Jim with cryptic Instagram stories, including baby emojis, and slung some not-so-subtle shade. A true guy accepts his faults and nurtures his seedlings. It functioned. Sponsorship opportunities arose from every direction. Baby brands, mommy podcasts, and pregnancy fatigues. According to one insider, a major vitamin firm approached Chrissy, a 5-figure deal for a pregnancy health journey video on YouTube. They had little idea the only thing increasing was her bank account, not her womb. So here's where it gets dirty. These two didn't stop with just pretending. Nope. They made certain that the falsehood appeared to be bulletproof. A touring OB-GYN from Jersey who allegedly had her license revoked in 2018 for Cam's private information was jeopardized by dubious medical papers, including phony blood testing, sonograms, and pregnancy appointments. Receipts were made on a disposable laptop, saved on an encrypted USB, and handed off to Chrissy before any suspicious PRN agent could request proof of due dates, while Jim was taking blurry bathroom photographs with Chrissy's manufactured bump. Cam sat 2 blocks away in a hookah lounge, laughing with his inner group. Harlem, even if you add some reality TV tears on it, they will still buy it. Savage, but hardly surprising. Everything may have also remained buried, if it weren't for one error that not even Cam's paranoia could cure. the maintenance worker in that famed Midtown hotel room. Yep, the same housekeeper who discovered a remarkably flat pregnant belly band. A garbage can contains 3 unopened prenatal medication bottles. She took a photo. She DM'd it to a Harlem gossip blogger looking for clicks. Boom, the baby hoax has been exposed. Within hours, #Chrissy, the term fake bump gained popularity. Cam's phone blew up, not with congratulatory messages, but with death threats from Dipset stans, claiming he stabbed his brother for clout. Chrissy's lawyer stopped contacting her. Mona Scott Young, the queen of Give Me the Mess, and I'll Spin It, refused to answer her phone calls. Wait, it gets spicy because the leak was just the appetizer. What came out next was the main course: bank statements, an unnamed whistleblower, and some suggest a disgruntled intern from Cam's short-lived podcast endeavor, leaked digital folders, online, screenshots of hush payments, phony pregnant bills, hotel reservations under fictitious LLC names such as Mommy Empire, Consultancy LLC. Fans did what fans do best. They connected every slip-up, and roasted the entire swindle. Into the following week, TikTok detectives connect dates by comparing Chrissy's so-called due date to her club performances, where she miraculously had abs by midnight, but with a bump around breakfast. Twitter spaces were raging all night. Did Jim really not seeing this coming? Cam's been a snake since Dipet's debut mixtape. You all just forgot. However, if you felt this was finally, strap your seatbelts, for Harlem's messiest soap opera was far from ended. Jim tried to play damage control and post a prayer hands emoji on Instagram. More screenshots dropped. This time from Chrissy's cousin's stolen iCloud private voice notes, burner phone records, and a questionable contract with a shady PR firm, assuring the viral rollout of pregnancy content. Meanwhile, Cam vanished. No, there was no freestyle diss tune, no petty tweets, and a cryptic live performance. The silence. That's how Harlem knew he was guilty of sin or planning the next chess move. Chrissy, on the other hand, could not hide. The paparazzi spotted her slipping out of a manicure salon with no bump, ring, and no idea how to spin. This PR car collided with a fresh paycheck. And now for the real slap. Sponsors began sprinting towards the hills. This vitamin brand returns. The maternity lawsuit is being threatened against the photo studio. One brand even made a scathing tweet. We do not support the practice of creating false babies. We've terminated all collaborations. Begin immediately. The internet went down again. Pause now. Draw a deep breath in. Because if you thought this fraud ended with disclosed hotel bans and dubious bills, you're mistaken. This baby bombshell was about more than simply clout. It was the ticking time bomb that blew up Harlem's final fairy tale couple, shattered Dips and allegiance, and this provoked a federal audit. When you thought Harlem gossip might finally hit pause, think again, since what came next didn't only Torchy and Cam, but brought a few old acquaintances back into. They swore they had left the nasty limelight behind. Stay with me. Part 2 will delve deep into this scandal. And believe me, at the end, you'll wish it were simply lousy reality TV. It's so much worse. If you thought the barbershop whispers and the Twitter memes were sufficient to dismantle the hoax, oh, welcome to the real Harlem. The receipts trickling out now didn't simply drag Chrissy and Cam'ron, but they flipped the switch that transformed Harlem's dusty backstage secrets into a federal sideshow nobody, even Mona Scott, with her stringent NDAs, couldn't ignore. The reunion. This is how everything got out of hand. The same dissatisfied intern who tossed the hotel prohibited bills and the burner. The laptop screenshots did not stop there. 2 days after Chrissy's phony bump made headlines, this rogue was the maternal story arc. One bullet point was read. The first phase involves a public reveal. Phase 2, a fictitious ultrasonic leak. Phase 3, paparazzi sighting. The fourth phase, brand deals have been secured. Phase 5, strategic miscarriage. Story. The tale focuses on sympathy and reconnection. Please read that again. They not only pretended to be pregnant, but they also planned to act out sadness. Fans would line up with tissues and hashtags, pleading with VH1 to air a special reunion. When Harlem became aware of that bullet point, the internet split in half. One side asked that Chrissy be blacklisted by any network that ever offered her a checking in for the reunion. The other half shrieked, Cam was the puppet master and the evil brilliance, making Harlem's queen sell her every shred of dignity for crumbs. Meanwhile, Jim Jones, Harlem's last loyal king, went nuclear. Forget the praying hands. Forget spirituality. Quotes, He looked up his own receipts on Instagram. Hoodie is half off. He barked into the phone, his voice shaking. Have you ever loved someone so much that you let them wreck your life twice? You're all laughing at me, but I was playing father to Elishi as Cam cooked behind my back. Fans crowded the chat. King, stay strong. You deserve to be treated better. Cam has got to pay for this. Betrayal. The more Jim expressed his sadness in real time, the diamine melted. TikTok editors merged clips of him crying with vintage. Millions of people are trapped in an eternal circle of nostalgia and cringe thanks to Dipset footage. However, Harlem's chaotic DNA does not end there. Heartbreak. When the money trail grows hot, it turns into a crime. Because, along with that, PR file. The whistleblower posted partial bank, even tax agents were impressed by the ledgers. Zelle transfers hidden under fake catering businesses. PayPal bills branded as pregnant wellness consulting. And stacks of $2,500 wire payments were made to Harlem's Events, an LLC. For the FBI and the IRS, that was a breadcrumb path with additional cheese. By morning, word had spread rapidly. The federal agents requested a meeting. The rumor mill said Homeland Security. I knocked on one of Cam's old studios in Queens around 500 a.m. We are seeking for backup drives. A gossip blogger even posted a fuzzy image of a black SUV parked outside Chrissy's cousin's condo, alleging authorities are grilling her relative for hush money receipts. While the street shouted RICO and racketeering, Cam stayed in ghost mode. There are no freestyle clapbacks or shady bars on Instagram, no petty tweets with crying laughing emojis. Cam is only hearing radio silence. Scarier than any diss tune because everyone in Harlem knows when Cam is quiet, he's brewing up something deadly. Meanwhile, Chrissy, the former reality TV queen, was abandoned to drown alone. The paparazzi nabbed her twice in 2 days. Once sneaking into a lawyer's, the next moment she was crying behind the wheel of a borrowed black Escalade outside of a maternity boutique. She is accused of obtaining free baby bump props through deception. Brands did not await an apology. Gone is a vitamin sponsor. The expensive baby clothing brand she teased on Instagram ghosted her with a scathing pinned comment. We only dress true miracles. We wish Miss Lampkin well-being and introspection. Ouch. Harlem's few. Don't start them. Beauty salons were lit up with ancient heads clucking their tongues. I told you Chrissy was danger when she forced Jim to have that tattoo of her lips, rather than a genuine wedding. Petty, authentic, and traditional Harlem. But here's the unexpected twist. Just like the public relations crisis after scorching every area of Harlem, a new player emerged from the darkness. The money puppet master. Anonymous Reddit leaks said this shadowy individual, Reggie, the sleazy ex-manager, was the one who tipped the intern off to disclose everything. They believe Reggie oversaw Cam's road gigs in the mid-2010s before Cam ghosted him for skimming off club checks. Reggie supposedly held grudges as large as Harlem Blocks and Baby. Reggie discovered Cam was cashing hush money for a phony baby plot while still the man, who owed him underpaid tour percentages, went full whistleblower. He fed it interns screenshots. He fed hush tapes to bloggers. He allegedly sold a voice memo to a podcast for 4 figures that featured Cam barking on the phone. Tell Chrissy to keep crying. Tears move product. Man, we make more when they believe she is unhappy. When that voice memo arrived on the timeline, you could hear collective jaws drop from Harlem to Brooklyn. Even Monis became the youthful, famed ringmaster of TV Ratchet. Circus reunions had to publish a dry public statement. Miss Lampkin is not at the moment. You are not contracted to any of our shows. We have no comments on unverified allegations. Translation. Girl, you can't even turn this trash back onto our The Reunion couch. While the puppet master's receipts circulated across blogs, the brands fled like roaches at morning. Cam lost a middle-tier liquor endorsements appeared overnight. His name was surreptitiously removed from a purported Dipet anniversary tour. One promoter revealed a text thread where Cam supposedly begged, seeking a $50,000 advance, claiming that the baby plot reaction would pass quickly. Spoiler, it did not. The most heinous leak yet is a covert group chat screenshot. Reggie himself slipped it to a YouTube blogger showing Cam, Chrissy, and a public relations fixer debating which gossip. If the phony baby rumor became too popular, they'd pay bloggers to remove any bad headlines. The conversation even contained a petty remark, make certain Jim do not find out till the bag has been cleared. Guess what? In addition, Jim discovered the entire friggin' planet found out. Dipet, formerly impenetrable, is now brotherhood resembled Harlem's garbage heap. Contracts were shredded and burned, friendships and commercial endorsements are in ruins. And federal snitches squealing. It was no longer just Instagram memes. A rumored federal tax probe currently. Cam and Chrissy were both concerned about whether or not hush monies had been properly reported. And where was Jim during all of this? Still recovering? You're heartbroken, huh? Harlem's last steadfast ruler took the booth. According to rumors, a new album named Faked and Betrayed will be released soon. A few bits have leaked on Twitter. Raw savagery bars with no features, just Jim dragging Camp, Chrissy, and false baby props from Midtown to Miami. If you believe this clown performance would end with public relations, apologies and legal bills, think again. Because the same puppet master Whisper Network alleges an even more heinous twist is kept in a lawyer's safe. A final hush agreement signed by both Cam and Chrissy detailing how much phony infant money was split behind Jim's back, and it was laundered via bogus charity payments. If that paper reaches the blogosphere, not only will it burn Depat's last legacy to dust, but they might bring down a few bignum sponsors with them. Homeland Security is already sniffing around. The streets are salivating over the final receipts. Third part. Oh, it's approaching. And it's the dagger that Harlem has been yearning. Because the hush file, even the rodents in the gutter will be sorry for Jim Jones. Please stay tuned. You want to avoid blinking. Part 3 is where we burn down any remaining secrets. So here is where we are. If you came this far without holding your fake pearls, prepare yourself. Because the next chapter of this bogus baby catastrophe doesn't just slam a final nail into Dipset's dusty coffin. It pulls the entire Harlem gossip ecosystem through a brutal tempest. Even the block's oldest residents are avoiding cameras. Remember that hush file? Yeah, the so-called smoking gun. What was Reggie hinting at? The streets have been whispering for weeks that just two people I kept a copy. Reggie and a dishonest entertainment lawyer, who formerly controlled Cam, did side transactions after his tax difficulties made headlines a decade ago. But in Harlem, I forgot about one thing. Secrets do not stay contained while everybody's loyalty is on layaway. 1 week and 2 days after Jim's tragic live rage, the hush file, a leak from Reggie's group chat, made its way onto the internet. There was no significant tabloid drop, podcast exclusive. Just a single anonymous Google Drive link distributed in the comment sections of every piece. So much is spoken. Chrissy, Cam, or phony babies. Within an hour, the link became viral around the world. Inside that the folder contained contracts, signed NDAs, wire instructions, and a blurry PDF stamped final split agreement with large red lettering. It outlined how the so-called baby story profits would be divided among Chrissy, Cam, a dodgy OBGN, and the gossip publicist who sold the tale to advertising. A side message was also stashed away in the same file, nearly burning through the screen. Jim will not be informed until the very last second, once all sponsor payments have been cleared. Harlem lost its collective mind. TikTok detectives, every site was screen recorded, breakdowns were shared in real time, and vicious memes were created from old Jim recordings. Kissing Chrissy's stomach on stage, now accompanied by crying emojis and clown faces. The entire world laughed, gasped, and then shared it in their messiest group chats till it spread. No lawyer could halt the digital blaze. If the hush file itself was not Harlem's favorite mother-in-law, Mama Jones, chose to drag the last shred of family laundry. A hungry blogger captured her mid-rant outside her favorite hair salon in broad daylight. No filter, no excuses. She blurted out the words Harlem's been waiting for. She knew Chrissy was poisoned. She claimed she urged Jim to open his eyes years before. He now has heartbreak, guilt, and a lawyer bill so thick that Cam can't scan it. The sponsors moved far faster than any PR announcement. Chrissy's people could whip up. Deals on baby vitamins are dead. Branded maternity shoots come with harsh refund requests. She has a designer boutique. Threats were posted on her stories. A lawsuit for brand harm caused by associated with a false story. It was all coming crumbling down, dollar for dollar. Cam, for his part, did what he does best. He didn't whimper behind any lawyer's remark. He did not post a sad apology video. No. Doc Cam jumped on live, hoodie partly down, chain dancing on his chest. Grinning as 50,000 people watching him declare himself Harlem's favorite villain, he drank from a red cup and laughed. He stated, "Loyalty has died, and he is the only one who is honest enough to say that he killed it himself." The comment area was inundated with clown emojis and snake emojis, yet half the crowd cheered, because Harlem likes a villain who says what everyone else is pretending to whisper. Jim did not answer with another mess. Live instead. He did what he's always done well. He landed in the booth. 3 days later, an unpolished freestyle surfaced on SoundCloud under the title, "No More Puppets. Words. A Graveyard for Numbers." At midnight, fans packed every Harlem neighborhood, blaring the music from their car speakers like a funeral for everything Dipset ever stood for. But the internet didn't stop for long, because, after sadness and clown memes, came the real hounds. The feds. Word spread that Homeland Security reported suspicious payments linked to the bogus A Charitable Fund Cam and Chrissy pushed during the bump storyline. It turns out that their so-called Moms Foundation did not provide any financial assistance to needy mothers. It returned brand checks to them using shell company invoices. That is not influencer drama anymore. That's wire fraud. Barber Hop started. He joked that the next Dipset reunion special will take place in a federal courtroom rather than on VH1. The laughter covered up the sadness since Harlem knows this was more than phony. Belly bands and fraudulent Instagram captions. This story was about a family that once stood as the final piece of raw stage loyalty.